I never thought betrayal would touch my life. Not me, not someone who'd spent years carefully crafting a future believing I'd found a partner to share it with. But I was mistaken. The cruel irony, I funded her infidelity. Here's how it unfolded. I'm Ethan, 35 now, but I was 26 when I met Claire. It was at a charity gala for a local youth center. She was at the welcome desk, handing out name tags, her smile radiating a warmth that felt like a private invitation. She wasn't loud or showy, just quietly magnetic. I was there because my firm had sponsored the event's catering. By the end of the evening, I was captivated. We grabbed drinks a few days later, dinner soon after, and within weeks, it felt like we'd been friends forever. 2 years later, we stood under a starlit pergola at her family's orchard, exchanging vows before a crowd of loved ones. Her eyes promised a shared future, kids, dreams, the whole package. For 6 years, we were that couple. We lived in a modest but warm house in the suburbs, shared custody of a lab named Rusty, and had a life that felt full. I managed logistics for a tech startup. She planned weddings at a boutique venue. We took spontaneous road trips, hiked in the fall, and bickered occasionally, but always worked it out. She was the type to talk through problems, or so I thought. My grandfather was a self-made man. He started flipping houses in the 70s and built a property empire across 2 states. He treated me like his own son and once said, "Trust people, Ethan, but always have a safety net." When Claire and I got engaged, he urged me to get a prenup. I resisted, thinking it was unromantic, but he wouldn't budge. Reluctantly, I brought it up with Claire. She didn't hesitate, saying she wasn't after my family's wealth and that love wasn't about paperwork. We hired separate lawyers, signed the agreement, and tucked it away. The terms were clear. Any inheritance was mine alone, and infidelity leading to divorce would leave the guilty party with minimal assets. I thought it was just to ease Grandpa's mind. I never imagined it would save me. The trouble started innocently. In our 7th year, Claire said her job was draining her. Endless clients, late nights. She felt anxious, restless, not herself. I supported her seeking help. She found Dr. Michael Grant, a therapist in his 40s with stellar reviews and a sleek downtown office. I covered the $150 weekly sessions, partly through insurance, partly from our shared savings. At first, she came home brighter, more at ease, saying therapy was working. But then things shifted. Claire started dressing up for sessions, lipstick, heels, perfume, like she was heading to a gala. When I joked about it, she brushed it off. "You never know who you'll bump into." I let it slide. Then came the late appointments, extended sessions for deep work. She'd return at 9 p.m., sometimes later, glowing, not from emotional breakthroughs, but from something else. Her phone buzzed constantly, and she'd smile at the screen, claiming it was a therapy group chat. One night, I glimpsed the name on her phone, Dr. Michael Grant. Everything changed when my grandfather died. He left me $2.2 million and a rental property. It was a moment of loss and gratitude, but Claire's reaction was different, calculating. She asked about the funds, the timeline, how we'd invest our money. I reminded her the prenup kept my inheritance separate. She laughed it off, saying, "What's yours is ours, right?" But her tone felt sharp. Her therapy sessions jumped to 3 times a week, citing grief over my grandfather. I wanted to believe her, but doubt gnawed at me. Then came the night I found out. I was away for a work summit set to return Sunday. It ended early, so I caught a Saturday flight home to surprise her. I arrived at 5 p.m. Her car was in the driveway alongside a black SUV I didn't recognize. The house was silent as I entered. Then I heard her laugh from upstairs, the kind she used when she wanted to impress someone. My stomach dropped. I climbed the stairs, heart pounding, and stopped at our bedroom door. It was ajar. There she was, my wife, with Dr. Grant in our bed while I was supposed to be gone. I didn't speak. I pulled out my phone and recorded. They didn't notice for nearly a minute. When Claire saw me, her face drained of color. Dr. Grant scrambled, muttering apologies, grabbing his clothes. Claire sobbed, pleading for me to listen. I left without a word. I checked into a motel. She called relentlessly. I ignored her. By morning, I'd contacted my lawyer, sending the video, prenup, and therapy payment records. He called it an airtight case. It was. Dr. Grant's life unraveled fast. I filed a complaint with the state board, and others followed. 4 women, including his wife, who divorced him after seeing my evidence. His license was revoked within weeks. Claire, meanwhile, spiraled. She showed up at my hotel, calling it one slip-up. I pointed out it was a 6-month affair, funded by me. Her lawyer tried to argue for a bigger settlement, but the prenup and video crushed her case. She left with $35,000 from our joint account. She had a breakdown outside the courtroom, screaming that I'd destroyed her. The judge didn't flinch. I bought a condo by the coast, took a new job at a smaller company, and kept Rusty. Claire sold our house, unable to afford it. Her old job had moved on, and she now works as a scheduler for an event planner. Friends say she looks worn, like the past year aged her a decade. Dr. Grant. He's selling insurance in a neighboring state. I used to feel guilty about the prenup, like it meant I doubted Claire. Now I see it was about valuing myself. People reveal their truth when they think you're not looking. Claire thought she could have it all. Instead, she lost everything to a man who discarded her when the consequences hit. Divorce leaves a strange quiet. People say time heals, but they don't mention the loneliness of a house without its familiar sounds. 6 months post-divorce, my condo was simple. A sofa, a handmade bookshelf, and a view of the ocean. Mornings with Rusty on the balcony felt serene, but sometimes heavy. You don't realize how much of yourself is tied to a partner's presence until it's gone. Claire texted me 2 months after the divorce late at night. "I know you hate me, but I'm so sorry." I didn't respond. The next day, another message. "I found our wedding album. You look so in love. I ruined it." I blocked her. Then came an email begging for one talk for closure. Curiosity got me, so I met her at a cafe. She looked exhausted, hair limp, eyes red. Rusty waited outside, tail wagging. She cried before I spoke, saying she didn't know how to apologize. I asked why it happened. She said Dr. Grant made her feel seen, valued, when she felt invisible. It started with a kiss after a session, then became routine. She admitted she'd told him about my inheritance, and he'd pushed her to rethink our marriage. "Did you plan to leave me after getting the money?" I asked. She didn't answer, just stared at her latte. "I thought I'd be happier," she whispered. I didn't need her story, I knew it, but I let her talk. Afterward, I didn't hear from her for months. Then a friend said she'd been evicted, her car repossessed, her new job barely paying the bills. Her parents, ashamed of the scandal, cut her off. She was crashing on friends' couches. Meanwhile, I was thriving. The rental property brought steady income, and I'd started dating Lena, a wildlife photographer I met when Rusty stole her sandwich at the beach. Lena was kind, witty, and didn't press for details about my past. When I finally shared, she said, "You didn't deserve that, but I'm glad you're here." It meant more than Claire's apologies. 2 months ago, I saw Claire at a market wearing her catering uniform. I was with Lena, laughing over some overpriced candles. Claire said my name, her voice small. She looked frail. We made awkward small talk until she saw Lena and asked, "Is this your girlfriend?" Lena nodded. Claire's eyes welled up, but she just said, "I'm happy for you." Then she left. For the first time, I saw remorse in her face, and I felt not anger but pity. It's been a year since I caught them. A year since I thought my life was over. It wasn't, it just transformed. Peace is subtle. It's the sound of waves, Rusty's warmth beside me, the certainty I'm safe in my own story. Claire still sends occasional messages, a birthday note, a stray text. I don't reply, there's nothing to say. Dr. Grant. He's peddling condos now, a far cry from the man who told Claire she deserved better. I visited Grandpa's grave recently and thanked him. His prenup wasn't about money, it was about dignity. Forgiveness isn't about letting someone back in, it's about letting go of their hold on you. I found my peace in quiet mornings, steady days, and Lena's honest smile. Sometimes justice isn't loud, it's the calm of knowing you're enough.